Well, hi there. Earlier today, Donald Trump gave a speech about foreign policy. He was much calmer than usual. He was reading off a teleprompter and said Tanzania. Take a look.
We need a new, rational American foreign policy, informed by the best minds and supported by both parties, and it will be by both parties. Democrats, Republicans, independents, everybody, as well as by our close allies. This is how we won the Cold War, and it's how we will win our new future struggles, which may be many, which may be complex, but we will win if I become president.
And here to assess Donald Trump's international agenda, it's Congressman Massie from the great state of Kentucky. Welcome back, Congressman Massie. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me, Kennedy.
Well, a very big speech after a big night. What did you, as a limited government, liberty-loving Republican, want to hear from Donald Trump's speech?
Well, you know, a lot of his speech actually spoke to me there. As an advocate of taxpayer dollars and fiscal responsibility and a non-interventionist, I thought he was answering a lot of the questions that the American public's been asking. For instance, you know, why are we subsidizing the defense of socialist countries? Now, they may be our allies, but their debt to GDP ratio is lower than ours. And why are we building infrastructure in Afghanistan when our own infrastructure is crumbling at home? And, you know, is Iran stronger now that we've taken out their main adversary, Iraq, in the Middle East? Are we better off in Syria and Libya now that we've intervened? These are all questions that Americans have and are rightfully asking, and I've been asking. Why are we sending so much foreign aid overseas when we have our own problems at home? So I think what he said is going to resonate with people.
Are you surprised that we're having this discussion? Because these aren't the kinds of discussions we've had, certainly in the modern history of past presidential cycles. And how important is it to talk about these things?
It's really important. I mean, these discussions have been tamped down. We have all these what I call weapons of mass distraction that people want to talk about, and they don't talk about the burning issues and the questions that we've had. Look, we've spent $2 trillion in wars in the Middle East. That's adding up to real money, and we're spending out of sight in Afghanistan to rebuild over there. So these are questions that need to be answered. I'm glad he's having them, and I'm glad we're past that part of the debate where everybody just calls each other names.
Yeah, no, and I do appreciate the limited government perspective he's coming from when he talks about reassessing our investment in NATO and, you know, bases all over the world. But he also talks about beefing up the military, and, you know, he talks about dwindling naval ships and a smaller standing army and things that if you really change and add so much more to the military budget, it seems like the economy won't be able to support that. Is that troublesome for you?
Well, he also talks about taking care of our veterans, and that's going to resonate with Americans. It resonates with me. But I think he also did mention in there that there is waste everywhere and that there may be wasteful spending in the military, and we need to spend the money more intelligently. Look, you can't be everywhere all the time. And some of this spending, you know, when you drop bombs, those cost money. You could be building the strength of our military instead of expending it every day in a dozen countries.
All right, so the speech was obviously much more focused, and he didn't just talk about the Middle East. He talked about Asia and all that stuff, but he talked a lot about defeating ISIS. Does that sound like the most solid plan you've heard from either the sitting president or those who really want his job?
I don't think the sitting president has a plan for defeating ISIS. I mean, he's talking about a no-fly zone. The last time I checked, ISIS is in, you know, Toyotas and tanks. They don't have airplanes. Our president and a lot of folks here in Washington, D.C., some on my side of the aisle, they're fixated with getting rid of Assad instead of getting rid of ISIS. And so, I mean, Trump is focused on the right adversary, whereas our current president is not. Our current president wants to destabilize another regime in the Middle East that's going to create more refugees.
Yeah. No, I think you have a really good argument for that. Obviously, limiting government, controlling spending, and all the things that you fight for on a daily basis. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for taking time. Are you endorsing Donald Trump? I mean, you seem pretty excited about the speech.
No, I am ecumenical. I endorsed Rand Paul, and I worked hard for him in Iowa and elsewhere. And once he got out of the race, I decided I'm not endorsing anybody. Although I will be a delegate in Cleveland, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, very interesting. So it's as though you've had a bad breakup, and now you've become a monk. I appreciate that, Congressman Massie. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Kennedy.
Indeed. All right, coming up, a pet shop.